Welcome back to Pisces TV with Dr. MP. Let's get started with your reading, Pisces. Welcome and thank all of you guys for watching. I really appreciate your support. My day oneers that's hanging in there with all three of my views, honey. We're going to get lit. I have been working steadily to increase the enlightenment and information that I'm able to provide on the channel, as well as build all of the things that I tell you about, from the guided meditations to preparing the oils and candles to be available for purchase. That's what I do all day, every day, because when it pop, it's gonna pop. Okay? We start the reading out with calcite and big spite. That's cute. Super cute. There's been a lot of duality with the colors or the references to feminine and masculine today, and you'll see that apparent in a few of the readings. Amplify, cleanse, open, timing, action, change. Cancer, Venus, Aries, Taurus, Moon, Venus, Taurus. Love that. Double trouble. Calcite has a unique optical quality. When you're looking through the stone, it appears doubled. Okay, so it may be something about the vision. And the time is right to take action for your vision, because your oracle card is empowerment. I love that. Calcite transforms negative energy for release and renewal, while the big spite opens the connection between your base chakras and your heart chakra and infuses you with unconditional love for yourself and others. This one encourages energy expressed as action, movement, and progression to move toward your true alignment between you and your soul. And this one reminds you that there's always a new beginning. You just have to decide when to start. I thought that was amazing. So let's move to your oracle cards, where we have empowerment and intuition. Intuitively, empowerment and intuition looks like the pictures, the way I thought about it, where empowerment could come from some things outside of you, like me about to empower you today, something that you feel inside that oozes out, exudes, right? And then intuition is tight. It's in there. It's in that bubble. It's inside. So it's something that you know or may work on knowing. But it is definitely something that is. And I try not to overanalyze, but I'm into numerology. So 6 and 2 is 8. 7 and 2 is 9. I love the consistency. I love that 22 tells us about action. Okay, and 13 or 3. What is it? Did I say 13 or 3? Well, 3 is for the Empress, 1 the Magician. So we got the feminine energy, and how embracing that through the chaos may help with the manifestations. But I like 13 for spirit too, and things being very transformative. As we talked about new beginnings, some things may have come to ends, or something may come to an end. So the frequency of empowerment supports our ability to show up fully and completely, uniting us with others and the deep trust that we are all connected through the same source. That helps me a lot in being a professional in the realm of quantum metaphysics, spirituality, or just life, where I removed myself from the rebel I've grown from in wanting to defend my beliefs. And I'm sure all my millennials and conspiracy theorists in the back, y'all know what I'm talking about. I will preach on the corner at the top of my lungs about how something don't make sense. I don't believe that. That ain't right. I ain't doing that. But the closer I got to God, spirituality, source, I realized that that was just a distraction and wasn't really godly at all, to argue and fight and differentiate ourselves, because I met God. I connected with the Holy Spirit, and it is a oneness that is very, well, maybe to me, let me say the disclaimer, very loving, understanding, patient, whatever it takes for you to understand, humble enough, as magnificent as it is, right, the divine, to be humble enough to take an approach that fits you best for the best outcome for you. And that's like, we talking about God, we talking about the Holy Spirit, we talking about archangels, ascended masters, your higher self, whatever it is humble enough to submit to the goal of the greater good, and will break it down to your level. And because I know that, I can't really argue with anyone about what they think or what they feel or what their belief is or what their truth is, because their connection with spirit may be a little different, and that's how they comprehend. So I love that about the connectedness through the same source. I don't fool with everybody, and don't even really like people as a whole by percentages based on my observation because of their behaviors, but we'll still agree. Now, with intuition, the energy of intuition supports our ability to conceive the subtle language of the realms beyond the three-dimensional reality. So we have source. Gosh, if I just shut up, I'm so long-winded. I think it comes through me and my brain, and then it still be on the card. And I don't read these cards until I turn the camera on and start talking to y'all. But it just said the same thing. The language of the realms beyond here. Source. Oh my God. I don't know. We've been going through this since I started this channel, and I'm probably going to keep doing it. So thank you, Spirit. Your mantra is, I tune in to faithfully listen for the authentic, empowered, creative voice of my soul, guiding me flawlessly on my life journey. What I like about this is where the fool meets the high priestess, or has some anticipation or expectation to receive guidance or direction. And then she comes and she whispers or she directs through a sound, a song, a thought, your gut, right? So I think that that's super dope. And I love that I did read this card and how I knew that empowerment was here. And I was like, this is super cute, right? I like when it all makes sense. Here you have the mantra, clear and refreshed. The third eye sees the truth. My soul is blessed and growing into a loving vision of exquisite evolution. So there's that Aquarian energy, that rebel with the cause, that evolution. Okay. We also have something new and refreshing, because it gave me like sacral chakra vibes, without all the crazy stuff we hear about it, about the chords and connections and the traumas are there. But it also looks like the sun, and it's very beautiful. The mantra is, my soul radiates confidence and creativity, potency to accomplish my sacred purpose. Because again, remember, this reading will be about taking action. It is about your purpose. It talks about creative potency, which is going to come from you. When I said exuding, and I love that confidence and empowerment are in the same realm. I am going to pull some tarot cards, lucky you. But I like to start off this way to give us some insight. And I'll keep some of the cards on the table as we get started with your message. Now we have empowerment, and I feel that the intuition may be the flame that you need for the empowerment, because you know, you feel, and that is your communication and connection to source. The intuition is the language. Who's communicating? It talks about a unity. So you, others, us, source. And it talks about a deep trust. Something that I noticed in being a reader on YouTube, when I can be honest and say, I watch other readers, and sometimes they say some of the very same things I say, and I never take that as oh, they're copying me, because most of the people I watch OGs, and they've been on here way before me, so I guess I don't even have it in me. I don't feel like that. But then when the cards come out, and then naturally a conversation comes up that I may have overheard from them, I just appreciate the connection, where even if the conversation is different, sometimes the word itself is said and then used differently. Or when I have experiences in my life, and as readers, sometimes we say weird little things, and I'm very weird, and if you noticed over time, I try to stick to the cards and like shut my trap, but not like right now because I'm running it. Funny story. So one of the ladies that I watch, she was doing a reading, and then she brought up the Drake and the Kendrick Lamar thing, and I almost spit water out of my mouth, because I took it upon myself to get down in a lower vibration and message somebody and said, don't make me call your mom, and then had like 2 bars set up for when they responded, because he be getting on my nerves. And so I used to be a battle rapper, like I used to do music back in my day. So this was before her reading, where I was inspired by one of my Facebook friends who keeps updating us every time Kendrick Lamar says something. And when he told when he insinuated telling Drake's mom, your son is disgusting, or something like that, it made me think of this guy, and how when we were in high school, I would always talk to his mom when he did some stupid stuff. So yeah, I called him, or I texted him, and I was like, don't make me call your mama. And we've been beefing for a little bit, but bringing his mom up was the first time he replied in a couple of days. So I was going to go on my nails, but I didn't. So anyway, when I got onto YouTube, and she was talking about Pisces, and then quoted something from Drake and Kendrick Lamar, I almost spit, because I was like, girl, but I didn't go down too far into toxic. It was just funny, and I don't regret it. So seriously, I shuffled these pretty good. Multi-dimensional, divine masculine, prosperity. This came up for Pisces as far as the situation is possibly crossing you, and it has a destiny kind of thing to it, where decisions haven't been fully made in a situation, and it involves the next steps and the actions that are taken to determine the outcome. But the outcome here, or the bridge to get to the desired outcome, is prosperity. Now, fate is multidimensional, or the past is multidimensional. All right, and we just gonna let these rest, because I'm sitting here shuffling them cards, and those purposefully came out, which I respect. But I got a billion decks for y'all, so I don't want, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep it fresh. So for multidimensional, let's take a bonus card. And for those of you that didn't see it in any of the other readings, it did talk about, it activates our awareness of our true essence, which is eternal and multidimensional. What you've always been, what it always is, beyond the 3D. Success. All right. Some of us, this prosperity, the choices, the change, the taking action, your purpose. It says, I know that there is no greater goal than to love, and then courage. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. If there's any guilt, shame, negative feelings, or regret, courage is going to be the elixir. And for the divine masculine, let's see what we have here. Getting good shuffle. We have growth, and that is great, because I did say it would take choices, actions, steps. It involves you, or whatever the situation is. And it says, I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. That's great. And some, that's the challenge, because they will not, or have not. And that could be the ego. So whether you're a man or a woman, for some of you it's a lover, or something that you love. But regardless of your gender, Masculinity also points to like a dominance that could come from the ego, much like femininity is intelligence and spirituality. And that's just what it is. Don't feel messed up about it. Say, I'm a guy, I'm spiritual and intelligent. Okay, but if you went and somebody voted by percentages based on human nature, biology, social behaviors, not economic norms, but traditional norms, like, be cool. But it says, I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. That's the mantra for anyone that's, going through growing pains or dealing with a situation like that. I love that love was at the bottom of the deck, though. Okay. I almost thought of Puff Daddy, right? Ain't that his new name? We have prosperity, but there's some indecision. So I think to get this prosperity, like I said, there's a change or some growth that's necessary, and possibly coming out of denial. I use my intuition in all aspects of life. For some, it may be self-esteem, where we possess gifts of the soul. They benefit you and us, so you and others. Okay, I love that. Patience may be required, and look how similar they are. It was coming out next. The success, where I know that there is no greater goal than love, and then love was literally in this, coming out. It also says, I accept that everything happens in divine order. So it's almost like this success is like the wheel of fortune. Well, they're all circles, but you get me. This is like a lotus flower. This is more like has the lines and the grid like a globe. I'm thinking about the Mayan calendar and all that good stuff. So hear me out. Okay. But I'm feeling it. When it comes to the indecision, okay, that means that the decision has not been made, or nothing is final yet. There's still time to grow, and or whomever or whatever has denial in their environment and is struggling with growth. The indecisiveness could be problematic. I don't want to say that, because this is about empowerment and encouraging the intuition. So I'm going to take 2 more for our breakdown, because as above is so below. Okay. Is that 3? Okay, I said 2 more, but we have blood at the bottom of the deck. And winter. The blood of Jesus. Okay. Because Jesus is born on Christmas, right? Denial. Mars. The spark. Okay. All right. The elixir. Okay. The mother's milk is calming. Hold on. It's very nurturing. It's something that reminds me of what the human body can do to heal itself. It's something that reminds me of that whole up the spine, Kundalini rising thing that goes into the back of the brain, and then you kind of get into that 33rd degree of mastery or whatnot. Thank you for that. That's cool. Divinity is everything and all things. And that is apparent, because empowerment is ego, but you see the inside of empowerment is kind of like the outside of intuition. And then the inside of intuition still matches the inside of the empowerment. So same source. That's also humbling for those of us that respond to life differently, because where I might use my intuition, someone else uses self-empowerment. I think it's spirituality, and divine, and someone else says no, it's results based and this action that I'm about, and all things are true. We mentioned the high priestess whispering to the fool on the journey, and usually when she pops up with the swords, the veil, indecisiveness, or a decision, those two swords can also sometimes mean two things are true, which is how human beings that have intimate relationships mirror each other, and how situations that we may face oftentimes mirror each other. So that is very humbling and calming. It was probably even programmed after the whole Christ consciousness movement, because not all ascended masters have Christ archetype personality, and I think Christ was a great middleman for humanity when it comes to the gods or to God, because before Christ, I mean, Aries, I am, war, and dinosaurs disappeared, motherfucking whole cultures of people disappeared, volcanoes and natural disasters changed the majority of the planet. Continents are underwater. Nobody knows what the fuck happened to Atlantis. It was warfare. So I appreciate when times change and Pisces got up in there and softened things up a bit. The mother's milk, according to this book, because I know it to be, like I said, a favorable chemical reaction that your body receives from something holistic and amazing, a secretion of some sort that's magical. I think the book gonna tell us about it, but I know that much. Just like unfavorable thoughts and feelings create chemicals in the body that you can go to a doctor and get a prescription for. So, innocence, naivety, and purity, that's the mother's milk. Patience as a remedy. See what I'm saying? In alchemy, this mystical substance supposedly coming from the virgin's breast. Okay, I don't know how a virgin would have milk in her titties, but the sweet baby had a virgin mom. So God could have put it there, right? The alchemist asks, how can it be? Right? How can milk come from one not carrying a child? That is precisely the nuanced teaching. So that's what naive is. Thank you, lady, for this. So I don't sound like a condescending cunt. Yeah, there's that. It also points to a lack of awareness or experience that the alchemist would rather not reveal. And that's why I like higher ups that are true to the stone cold heart, princesses and queens and kings, or God and source, because God, the Holy Spirit, ancestors, those things that are beyond our sight, that have the power and capacity to still dwell on this planet and connect with you, that is powerful. And if that energy or those beings have the humility and grace to be patient with humans, I would just suggest and like if we were patient with ourselves and others that way. Because well, I know we're not perfect and I know we're not divine and whatever. Speak for yourself. But an individual who chooses to act out unfavorably because they know that they kind of out of their league, that's not my favorite. It's human behavior. It's understandable. It's work throughable. It's overcomable. But you never know if someone is going to overcome that. And I'll just tell y'all personally, I can't deeply associate with individuals like that. Family, friend, intimate. I don't care if it were my own children. Someone who lives in denial, even when they're aware of truths, that's a very lower vibrational energy that could be dangerous. Because I could tell you the sky blue and you gonna argue with me by it being another color. I could say to you, hey, I've observed this, and you knowing that it's true, or look me dead in my face and make me the problem. You know how y'all talk about narcissists and gaslighters and stuff like that? That's just not really safe. Like, if you can't keep it real with yourself, you need to sit in the corner and pray that God come down here, because you're not going to keep it real with your own self. I know you're not going to keep it real with me, and what am I supposed to do? Like, just live around that you could lie at any moment, that you could be unfair at any moment, that you could freak out, be insecure, weak at any moment. I don't know. So when this card appears, discernment, if I just shut up, right? If discernment and honesty must be applied to the work. Is something being glossed over, rushed, or presented as perfect? There are likely complexities that need to be addressed so the alchemist can gain the maturity to handle what's next. And that's my thing. I may have went on a tangent about how I can't really deal with that, but I have experienced that and have been that and overcame it. I didn't like it about myself. I don't like it about others. I can only fix myself. I can be patient with others. I can't deal with it too long. I can deal with somebody who's trying. I think that's God's work, child, to deal with somebody who just all the way far gone. That's why I come on here every day and say meditate. Because I rather God do it. I ain't finna sit there getting gray hair and ulcers over human beings that's that far gone. So we have Aries, Mars. We have oil of vitriol and the spark of light. This could be a great thing, and it could also be a very destructive thing, where I like Mars. I was born on a Tuesday. I fool with Mars. But the closed fist ain't really given, because usually when we see the hands in tarot, it's open and it's giving us something. Now the thing done slipped out your hand and you gripping it, and it's about to slip out your hand and you're gripping it. And then with this particular one, this is the awakening. This is the growth. This is success. Yep, this is prosperity. This is alchemy. This is cubing the square. This is, you see Neo breaking out the matrix. This is that good stuff that we all watch sci-fi movies for, or tune into YouTube onto the tarot section for, and somebody is yelling at it. This looked like a female lion too, I ain't lying. But excuse me. Like the Queen of Wands energy that could either bring havoc or harmony. Right? It happens. The spark of life, when I said these could be good or bad things, unfavorable, I'd rather say that, because the spark of life is me lighting my incense, and then it's changing my whole mood because it's my favorite incense, and I'm able to experience this not only because of the work that they put into making the incense, but this light that now creates this smoke, right? This idea that now creates this action that now created this reward. You see what I'm saying? So the spark of light, super dope. But I've read enough books and bought enough tarot decks to know that the spark of light is also energy, and no different from what hoodoo or voodoo people would call like demons or energy. It could be negative energy. It doesn't have to be used for negative energy, but I think all of us here know how magic works. It's in the hands, look, of the beholder. So let's just go from the guidebook, because you see I gave a favorable depiction of the Virgin's milk and it totally flipped the script on me. So I'm glad I got that out first. Here the spark is hope, sensation, exhilaration, the firework yet to be lit. When this card arrives just in the nick of time, leaving a trail of celestial light to guide the way, follow these flickers as if they are alchemical clues guiding you to an... Do I sound crazy? Because I'm trying not to laugh. Spirit be messing with me, and I'm working on not busting out loud my thoughts. So deal with me, y'all. Follow these flickers as if they are alchemical clues guiding you to an illuminated state. When this card appears, it's likely there has been a lull or a void of direction. I saw the void. Let me see if it's still over here. It probably ain't. I saw the void when I started shuffling this deck. That's crazy. I promise y'all I did. But after getting some of the similar cards with the other deck, I had to shuffle them up real good and was like, nope, I'm not reading nothing right off the top. But I usually do. So sorry about that. It's a message of hope that arrives. Great. Yes. So this is the favorable part of the Page of Wands. Some of y'all gonna get some good news. And this is crazy. I know I can't be the only one with this as like the bridge or the outcome. Sometimes when you stand in your ground, or as I've heard somebody say, what does she call it? Spiritual rage. Shout out to Water Baby, or what, I forgot her name. But this is the only way how I explain to you these imageries. This is the only way to explain how this could come out to be something that sparks you into the right direction, where it's like not frivolous like the Five of Swords. It's not catty or petty. It's not overly violent, abusive, or destructive, but it's some aggressive energy up in there. And enough being enough, because a lull or a void, you know, the light's been off and now something flickers. There's a shimmer, there's enthusiasm. You may feel childlike giddiness, the presence of magic, a vision in a dream, or a simple readiness to wake up from a long slumber. And see, we did have winter at the bottom of the deck, which sometimes points to the slumber. So it could have been last winter and waking something up. And Spirit said no. So, okay, fine. Anywho, it also says follow the physical body, follow the tingling sensations. We all know about that hyperactivity of aliveness within you, not to be led astray. So I could have somebody in the collective that's kind of resisting. And it could also go the opposite way. And it does go the opposite way. And I remember going through a whole year, a phase of educating holistic spiritual people on the truths and actualities of behavioral disorders and mental illness, and how you can't just burn no sage and say you got gifts when it's something going on. That's a figgity fact. That's something that I didn't expect. That was a culture shock for me, because I already had some insights, okay, on how I felt about religious people, but I never saw anything that could go wrong or be flawed in spiritual people. Nobody woke. But in becoming a practitioner, I was shocked. I was like, most of these motherfuckers is crazy. And that comes from me, someone who they probably call crazy too, and or that y'all know fair as hell. So I ain't being judgy. I'm fair and y'all know it. So we're just gonna work this out. But and I take it very importantly, because I like facts, I like authenticity, I like solutions, and I don't like people being naive. And if you say, well, where are you going with this? Because you sound really passionate, you venting. Well, because someone naive thinking they have this elixir, this gift, or this ability that's really hindering an awakening process and dealing with some severe energy issues, anger issues, rage, stuff like that. What I ain't got nothing to say, because I ain't no medical doctor, but having some insight on behavioral issues, human behavior, and neurology with the quantum world, metaphysics, and psychology, I do a little something. And this book just said it. All right. So also with this though, magic the vision, the dream, and being ready. That's for some of you. The aliveness within will not lead you astray. It talks about vitality and clarity. Inspiration is within your reach. You are alive. You are a vital being. You're important. Appreciate this moment. One spark leads to the next. Okay? That sounds like the advice to someone who could be, I don't know, like this cat. I just either frustrated or, wherefore art thou? I done got like that. Shit, I'm doing this work. I'm out here bad. Jesus, Nipsey, Tupac, God, Master Farad, Muhammad, one of y'all. Shit. I'm out here, you know. And especially for a female, you know, if you ain't getting the carpet rolled out for you and rose petals dropped when you get out your Uber, I've heard that even corporate America itself is bad for our health. Working, being the head of household, running a business, managing a company, the testosterone that's built from the dominance you'd have to exude, make your hair fall out, all kind of shit. So, this one to the third. Okay. But to this little kitty here, it says change as the only constant. So I love when this happens, when I just be talking and I sound like I'm somewhere between 12 and 113 just at any moment. But look what we got. This was literally change up here. And this little kitty cat talks about change is the only thing that's constant. I'm autistic. I understand what not liking change is about. So just imagine just regular motherfuckers dealing with it too. Being uncomfortable with it. Like you can say hi to me every day at 12:30, and one day you said at 12:32. It's like why today? What happened? What do I not know about? You know, things are going great and then something happens and that irks you because it's like things were fine. Why did this have to do this? It ain't even really about what it is, because most often you'll be okay. The money will come for them repairs or whatever adjustments you have to make. You'll make them. It's just the why, you know, the annoyance. So I get it. But that's also purification because of that little rage or whatnot. It says in alchemical text, this great creature of change is known as the green lion eating the sun. Now, I don't want nobody eating the sun now, because the sun is happy, light, inspiration. So this is a part, and you know, if green doesn't represent the heart chakra or being grounded, it talks about envy and greed and shit. So you mad just because you mad. You better not be. When the green lion appears, a great alchemical reckoning is at foot. Long-standing frustrations and imbalance causes the regal creature to lash out unconsciously, consuming all in its path. Be prepared for emotional turmoil as the lion thrashes about. Don't worry, these changes are necessary for growth, and in the end will be a relief to all. Purification is the lion's aim, and it's determined to get there one way or another, just like the other day when we were talking about Scorpio and Capricorn. So even if this isn't your personal life and nobody you know, it could be in the environment. We could be dealing with these folks. It ain't got nothing to do with you. You use your intuition, stay empowered, and be flexible to change around us because you focused on success and prosperity. It could be as simple as that. So nobody has to feel attacked here, because it don't even have to be you. The one consuming, or are we the ones being consumed? It is said that finding oneself in the mouth of the lion is a necessary moment on any spiritual path. As the discomfort passes, the sunbeams shine all the brighter. And that sounds like some moderate stuff, because moderns feel like, oh, you got to suffer first to really shine. I don't think that. But bless y'all heart, and I support y'all. But yeah, I just wanted to read it because the spark of light came out so spark of lightish, I feel like there's a in between the line kind of thing going on. But it was perfect for advice. It just didn't seem like the outcome based on this. So I just go to Mars so we don't miss anything. Will, activism, fighting without fighting. So there could be some fighting in the world. That 5 of Wands pop up somewhere in the tarot reading. Competitive nature. Some people need that though. Some people do need that. Especially if you're intuitive and empowering and naive and just in a daydream and you got shit to do according to your soul purpose, your path, or your innermost desires, and then something come along that's like, not me, or hey, I'm trying to be upset, and then you mash on them. You know how some people lose weight, be watching Instagram, and the ladies be like, when they have a boyfriend, he left me, and then now she one of the baddest broads on the timeline. Do you think she would have had that much anger, passion, energy, determination if that guy wouldn't have played with her? Do you think people go harder, because it's human nature, when somebody playing with them and they just ain't really in the mood to be played with? Don't you think they might go a little bit harder than if it was a regular day? So that is not the worst thing that could happen. I totally get that. It says, like a flame, because this is supposed to be the flame. Like a flame, Mars rises upward and helps us stand strong. Just like this secretion, when the Kundalini energy rises upward, that drip, in the spine or in the brain that makes you have superpowers and shit. Same thing. So that's relevant. You have more clarity, energy, action, purpose. Leads us to peaceful change. So it ain't no tower moments or nothing like that. The upholding of human rights, because this Aquarius energy just gonna get in there whenever it can. And representing the unrepresented. When Mars appears in a reading, there is strength and vigor required to face the challenges ahead. It may take the form of speaking your truth, getting yourself out of a harmful relationship or job, or getting involved in activist work. As activists, we must be very precise with our dosage of Mars, as an uncontrolled amounts could lead to outbursts in violence. Mars is most potent when paired with non-violence. And I love that. Like a peaceful protest. Which is true. Because I'm going to go hard a little bit to see how far I can go, especially when I'm talking to customer service. You got to get them a little fire. You got to use some big words. You got to have 5 million followers on Twitter, and you going to drag them if they don't get your account right. You going to Google the CEO name and say his name while you talking shit. Do that. That's just a little fire, under their ass. But if you busting blood vessels, screaming to where the neighbors down the street can hear you and actually pissed off, because I've worked in customer service 15 years ago or more, but I have, and I've also acted an ass on the phone with customer service more than 15 years ago. So I get it, and I know what that's like, where you wonder if somebody's sane. Like, how do you even get that mad over your Comcast cable bill, crying and shit, talking about blowing the shit up? So I just said that to say that a little bit seemed like could be necessary, but a whole lot is questionable behavior, and I have to put my glasses on and start using big terminologies and using spread points and counting numbers and categorizing actions. But I do hope that it helps, and I do hope that as the cards keep insinuating that we need to be whoever we've been wanting to be this whole time, we don't have to. I don't think God or the universe or source or spirit, Nipsey Hussle, Tupac, Master Muhammad, none of them owe us a lot just off GP. Like, because they up there, they great, they in the history books, they did whatever they supposed to been doing because we know them, right? My point is, if things are implied every day, every other week, twice a month, it's time for you to go hard. Have confidence in your purpose. Trust your intuition. Start your fucking purpose, because you still at Taco Bell and you hate it. Do this, do that, do this, do that. We're fucking millennials. This is the age of Aquarius. It's grown senior citizen motherfuckers living on TikTok and they pets paying a mortgage. This is the perfect time to be delusional, spoiled, lazy little fucktards doing what we really want to do. so that's just my rendition of what I'm trying to say, and I know y'all get it. It's like things are being implied to go for it and barbecue a mildew on it. So that's what I have, and I do hope that it helps.